challenges and support one another. And Stackers, there she is. Perfect.
Hi, good evening. I have the pleasure to introduce our February students of the month. So if they're present, please feel free to come up to the podium. So our first one is 7th grader Emmy. Miss Emmy was nominated by social studies teacher Zach Wright. He said, Emmy Newton is a friendly, positive, happy, hardworking young lady with big goals for the future. Emmy makes straight A's, completes excellent work, participates in class, and is a contributing member of the class. She's an excellent student and is highly deserving of Student of the Month. Emmy participates in cheerleading and runs cross country. Emmy rides horses and competes in 4-H shows and will compete in future rodeos. Her goals for the future are to attend the Texas A&M University to study education and become a teacher. Emmy has a very bright future, and I look forward to hearing all about her accomplishments in the future. Congratulations. Our 8th grade Student of the Month will be presented by Mrs. Hayden.
When I think of the qualities of a successful student, Lily exemplifies them all. Lily brings a wonderful energy to our classroom. She is an active participant who is always willing to share her thoughts. Whether working in groups or tackling a solo task, she collaborates successfully with everyone around her. I'm also impressed by her resilience. She meets every challenge with persistence and isn't afraid to ask for help to ensure she performs her best. Congratulations, Lily, on being our 8th grade Student of the Month. I look forward to seeing all that you will accomplish in high school.
Our 9th grade Student of the Month is Adele Schultz. And I don't believe Adele is here with us. We have our girls basketball game for tonight, and she is a member of our girls basketball team. But I will read Mr. Wright's nomination for Adele Schultz. He said, Adele Schultz is an outstanding student athlete at Sheboygan High School. Her work ethic, attention to detail, and excellence in academics make her very deserving of the February Student of the Month. She is a well-rounded, honorable student who participates in athletics, school spirit, and also earns money through babysitting. Ms. Schultz is a straight-A student and can always be seen with a positive attitude in class, answering questions, and working her hardest. She also plays volleyball, basketball, and track for the Chiefs and competes in travel sports. Adele enjoys skiing and attends church as well. Her goal for after she graduates is to attend the University of Michigan to study nursing. I am confident that Adele has a very bright future ahead of her. Congratulations on earning the 9th grade Student of the Month award. Our 10th grade Student of the Month, nominated also by Mr. Wright, is Nicholas Tranquillo. Come on up, Nick. Okay, so Nick Tranquilla is an outstanding student in the sophomore class. Nick is a dedicated athlete on both the football field and the wrestling mat. Nick enjoyed a starting spot on the wrestling team at 265 pounds and received the Chiefs at tournaments and duels all over, represented the Chiefs at tournaments and duels all over northern Michigan. Nick never missed a practice over the course of the season and showed tremendous toughness, strength, and improvement this year. He is a tough competitor. I enjoyed having Nick in class as an 8th grader and a 9th grader. He is a good student and has demonstrated a high level of character as well. During the summer months, Nick works construction. Nick has a very bright future, and I'm very proud to nominate him for the February Student of the Month. Congratulations. outstanding student in my classroom. As a new to this school teacher working to learn my way around, she has been helpful, and I can count on her to tell me how things work at school. She approaches every job with a cheerful attitude, strong work ethic. She is very creative and a good worker in my classroom. I am very grateful for her help and appreciate the kind of student she is. I hope she takes part again, Mr. Z. Okay, and our senior student of the month before I turn it over for Inverness Academy is Alexis Baker. Come on up, Alexis. So I was the one that nominated Alexis for Student of the Month. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce her to you today as our February senior. I've had the privilege of teaching Lexi for 2 years now, and she is the definition of a conscientious student. I first noticed her spark in my English 11 Plus class, where she immediately stood out not just for her academic ability, but for her incredible work ethic and her constant willingness to volunteer. Whether it was leading a discussion or helping a peer, Lexi was always the first to step up. This year, Lexi continues to excel in my college English course, but she has truly found her center stage in my Intro to Teaching class. For her teaching practicum, Lexi has been working in Garrett Romero's band room with our 6th grade band students. She isn't just assisting, she is leading these students in small groups and as a class. When Mr. Romero is gone, she often directs his 5th and 6th hour bands, so they do not miss a beat. In fact, for those of you who were lucky enough to attend our Christmas concert, you saw firsthand exactly what she's capable of. Lexi actually conducted 2 songs in front of our community for the 6th grade band at the Christmas concert. To add to her music resume, she is the 2025-2026 drum major, and Lexi this last weekend she had received already a 1 at districts, but she received a 1 at state solo ensemble this past weekend as well, which is a superior lady. Watching a senior command the podium with such confidence and grace is a testament to her growth and her passion for education. It is no surprise that she wants to study music at Northern Michigan University and has already been accepted to the music program. Lexi, your dedication to your studies and your heart for teaching make you incredibly deserving of this honor. Congratulations.
I am the social studies teacher at Inverness Academy, and here at Inverness Academy we like to do student spotlight because we like to highlight our students who are not only doing well in their academics but also doing well in succeeding and overcoming life's challenges. So we have 2, one for our in-person students and one for our virtual students. We'll start with our in-person student spotlight for March, which is Peyton Cotton. Come on down. Woohoo! Last year and has been with us since, and is very close to finishing up her studies and graduating with us, after which she'll be on to go on to to attend Les Cheneaux School, which is a culinary school in Hessel, Michigan, where she hopes to become a professional chef. Yay. So that's what she hopes to do. Peyton is one of our hardest working students, and also every time that she comes into the classroom, she's a positive force in that classroom. Mr. Evoy told me a story about how he used to do a popcorn reading, and after hearing how great Peyton is at reading out loud to the class, turned it into Reading with Peyton. So we're super proud of you, of everything that you're doing, and thank you so much for everything that you have done. All right, is our virtual students. Elena Flowers, come on up. So Elena has been with Inverness for 3 years, correct? Third, fourth? Oh wow, okay. So many years with us here at Inverness. And over that time, we have all had the pleasure of watching Elena grow and mature to the person that we know her to be today. She, like Dana, is a very, very hard worker, both in school and out of school. Elena hopes to become a teacher one day and is planning on going to NCMC in order to pursue that. She also goes into Miss Diamond's classroom and works with her there. And she, Miss Diamond, said that, please say that she is a very passionate and energetic in the kindergarten classroom, and the kids' faces lights up when she comes in every morning. She cares about the kids deeply and will do anything to help them out to be successful. We value her so very much and are so proud of this accomplishment. So Elena, congratulations. Again, we're very proud of you.
I want to begin by apologizing to our staff and our community for the chaos the board has experienced over the past few weeks. Our role as a board is to provide the best opportunities for our students, and they should always remain our #1 priority. Unfortunately, the great work happening across this district has been overshadowed by recent events. I want to assure our staff, our families, and our community that our commitment as a board remains firmly centered on our students. That has not changed. Over the past 3 years, our district has undergone a major shift. We have exceptional staff who put students first, and together we have worked to improve the climate in each of our schools. Our administration continues to work tirelessly to ensure that every student receives what they need to succeed. We have implemented a strategic plan that guides our work and is continually reviewed and revised as goals and needs evolve. We are in the process of implementing a guaranteed and viable curriculum with input from all stakeholders. Our math curriculum is complete, and this year's scores reflect the power of a consistent, high-quality curriculum. We are a small district, and our enrollment limits the numbers of career pathways we can have in-house. But we did not accept those limitations. And to ensure every student has access to opportunities they deserve, we expanded early middle college and maximized dual enrollment options to the fullest extent changes, the commitment, and the hard work of our staff. Through leadership of Spencer Bird, they have remained focused on students through every challenge, and they deserve recognition for the progress we have made together. And as we look at the incredible accomplishments of our seniors, students earning academic and athletic scholarships, students pursuing skilled trades, students stepping confidently into their next chapter, we should be highlighting these successes. These are the stories that reflect who we are as a district and what our students are capable of when we stay focused on them. As we move forward, I want to work to refocus on what truly matters: our students, our staff, and the future of this district. The past few weeks have been difficult, but they do not define who we are. What defines us is the dedication of our educators, the resilience of our students, and the commitment of this community to providing every child with the opportunities they deserve. My hope is that we can put this recent turmoil behind us and return to the steady student-centered work that has moved this district forward. We have important goals ahead of us, and we can only achieve them by working together, respecting our processes, and keeping our focus where it belongs, on the success and well-being of our students. Thank you to our staff, our families, and our community for your patience, your trust, and your continued belief in the work we are doing. We remain committed to serving you with integrity, transparency, and shared purpose. With that,
Thank you, Julie. We do have some board business that we have to take care of. So I'm going to try to do an abbreviated monthly superintendent report. We do have some motions that we need to consider and hopefully get approved tonight so that we can keep business rolling forward as usual. And I hope you guys can see this. Good news is we have 4 days until spring break, so that's something to look forward to. I've heard a lot of great opportunities are coming some of your way, going down south, enjoying the sunshine and all of that stuff. So that's something to look forward to. I know everybody's excited about getting away from this winter that just doesn't seem to end. So looking forward to that. But also, with the good comes the bad. I think you guys know last week, unfortunately, we had to cancel school all week long, which took us over our maximum amount of days that we can have as a school district. Typically, the Michigan Department of Education allows 9 emergency school days, and we've blown by those a little bit. This last week in particular, we're now at 14, so that's 5 over the waiver amount. So right now, our previous end of the school date was June 5th. It is now going to move to the next Friday, which is June 12th. We had a cabinet meeting today, and we're making sure to get that information. I know it's been posted on the website, but I also want to share it with you here today, school board members, and hopefully we don't have any more, because it doesn't look like Mother Nature's quite done with us yet. But I hope that's it, and June 12th will be our end of the school. Now, I haven't had an opportunity to talk with our high school principal. I know some of you that have seniors are wondering, will this affect any of the senior dates? We haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but if it does, we will definitely get that information out as well. What I know right now is that the senior end of the year dates remain the same. If they should change, that change will come from our demands. Also, I would like to thank, we have a new road commissioner, Matt Drake. And Steve, I know you're here. Why don't you step up here with me, because I tell you, Steve and Matt, we got to know each other really well this past week on the phone quite a bit. It was a very frustrating week because we put a lot of time and energy in, cleaning up roads, shoveling out entryways, only for Mother Nature to put a dump on us in the middle of the night, and we go right back to square one. But I know you wanted to say some words about the new commissioner working with them.
Yeah, I'd like to say something too about my crew, how the resilience and toughness they showed, showing up, some of us showed up Monday, not even clearing our own places, the selflessness, and it's working sunrise to sundown. But the number one goal was clearing the school. I don't know, some of you saw pictures, the school was buried. We have, some of us were using equipment that's 46 years old, almost as old as I am. It's pretty old, right? But using old equipment like that, and just going through it, it's the toughness and resilience. So I'm very proud of my crew for what they showed. And also the road commission, Matt Drake, I talked to him probably 3 or 4 times a day since Monday. And making sure that our turnarounds are cleared, our buses go down some very rural roads, making sure they're clear. Even Sunday, yesterday, he called me, and he goes, hey, I want to double check your turnarounds, double check your routes. And, I never experienced that before, the road commission foreman. And so he's doing a hell of a job, so I'm very proud of him and the support he's showing the school and taking pride in it. So it's really good to work with him, and the partnership that we have together is really great. So give the road commission a round of applause and my crew.
Couple updates. I know we've been talking about some of these things for a couple of months now. 27L money will be released this pay period, which I know is going to be quite helpful to some of those folks since we did miss so many days last week. That extra money will be coming in handy this Friday for payday. But as all of you hopefully know, we approved the 27L money, which was money that was given to us by the state, and then we were told to equally distribute it amongst our employees, which we worked with our union. Thank you very much, Heather Blake, and all the union representatives here that are here this evening. And all of our district employees will receive an extra $800 in their check from the Michigan State Department of Education. So I know that will come in handy, especially with the days that we missed last week. Some folks need a little bit extra help because of that. So that's done. Also, I want to thank Marlene Alexander. I don't think she's here this evening, but we've transitioned to a new financial software package this year. I know Laura and Marlene have been training on this financial program, but we found a little glitch this year. For the first time when we had to produce our W-2 forms, the originals, the first W-2 forms that went out, there was an error. There were 2 boxes that omitted information. I believe it was boxes 12 and 14, I think, Laura, is that correct? So Marlene had to go back, find what was the problem, work with COP-ESD, and get some support from our new financial software company. But she was able to get that fixed. She sent out all new W-2 forms with the missing information for boxes 12 and 14. That was a couple weeks ago. So hopefully by now everybody has all the information that they need. And I want to thank again the teachers and the staff for being patient with us, because I know some people want to get their taxes done right away, and this kind of put a glitch in their process, making it as timely as possible. But we got it fixed, and hopefully it will never occur again. But I want to thank Marlene, and I did want to thank the teachers and the staff for their patience. But that should be fixed. Also, we started teacher negotiations today. If you don't know, we put together a district negotiation team. The teachers have their union representative team. This is coming to the end of a 3-year teacher contract. When I started 3 years ago, we inked the first contract for the teachers that when I started, and now that's coming to expiration on July 1st. So we had I thought a very productive meeting with the teachers union today after school at 3:30. I want to thank the board members and the other folks that are part of my team. I know giving up some time to volunteer, to help out, sometimes can be challenging, but I thought we had a good first meeting today. We've set some dates for after spring break. We're going to continue those conversations, and hopefully the goal is to have a new contract to consider before the end of the school year. So hopefully we can get this done, come to an agreement, and have a new deal moving forward July 1st, 2026. Also, we talked about this last month, and Steve, I don't know if you have any updates for us, but we have a laundry list of things that we're working on through our Director of Facilities. There's a lot of projects that we're working on this spring and this summer. These are some of them, not all of them, but a couple updates I would like to give you is We have a groundbreaking ceremony for East Elementary. If you want to come out and join us on April 14th, we're going to officially start doing some reconstruction and demolition to some of the classrooms in East Elementary over spring break next week. But once we get back from spring break, we like to do an official groundbreaking ceremony. And again, that'll be on April 14th at 3:45. So mark your calendars. Should be a good time. Also, we just got a bid today, I believe, Steve, right? We got approval for completion of the tennis courts and the track, right? You want to talk a little bit about that real quick?
So we received 3 bids, one just for the tennis courts, and the company that recommended for the tennis courts, it's all they do is tennis courts and pickleball courts, so it makes sense to pick that company. The other 2, they said they could do tennis courts, but they really don't do tennis courts, so I didn't, so I don't really, it's got going to have triple bypass surgery and having a diapers do it, so it's probably not going to go over very well. So I recommended the company for the tennis courts, and then also I changed things up a little bit. I know we wanted polyurethane for the track, but after doing a research and talking to other facilities directors in schools, I went with the latex, which saves the district about $115,000. The current surface is latex and it lasted 26 years. Polyurethane is only used for tracks in like colleges, and they use it all year round. Heavy traffic. We don't have heavy traffic on our tracks, so there's no reason to go with polyurethane. Even though Scientific recommended polyurethane, it doesn't make sense to go with that because our track is not used enough for that. So, like I said, the track now was put in 1998, and it's 2026. It lasted that long. And even if you go polyurethane, and when it gets that old, you have to, every 20-some years, you have to go redo the asphalt on it. So I want the latex. It saves us money. I like saving money. So that's why I recommend the latex.
Yep, and we're making, that's up for motion today, guys. So you guys have in front of you that bid information. Hopefully this evening we'll get an opportunity to make a motion to approve that bid so that we can finish the track and tennis courts this summer. The first layer of asphalt's already been laid, as you know, but we do have to add those final touches and the final surface. And so by the beginning of next school year, we should be ready to go. It is going to impact this track season, and the track coaches and the track runners understand that they'll be able to practice on it, but this spring we won't be able to host a track meet this spring. So that's the unfortunate part of it, but by this end of the summer, we'll have a brand new track, brand new tennis courts, and like Steve said, it should last for 25 years at least, so that's good. That's good stuff. The other stuff you guys know about, I don't need to reiterate those. We do also have another motion tonight to accept another retirement. We have one last retiree, Adam Burry. Is Adam here tonight? No? Okay. Sorry. Adam Burry is going to, he just submitted his retirement paperwork. We're going to have a motion to accept his retirement. He is now the 9th teacher to take advantage of the early retirement incentive. We still may have more people retired that weren't eligible for that, but these 9 people took advantage of that incentive and gave us their information prior to March 15th, which allows us a little bit of a head start, getting those jobs posted and trying to be a little bit more proactive in filling those positions. So thank you to Adam Burry for getting that information in, and we wish you the best of luck. We also have we have 2 more half-day PD days coming up. The next one is going to be our safety afternoon. That'll be on April 8th. Then we have one more on May 6th. That's going to be curriculum-based. But we will be wrapping up our half-day PDs with one in April and one in May. Jeremy Runstrom, the emergency director, and I are going to meet soon to finalize that plan. We have a couple good ideas of how we want to continue what we started last year. If you remember last year, Jeremy and the county and Ron Fenlon, they really did a nice job of doing an active shooter presentation in our high school. And I know some board members attended that. That was great. What we're talking about doing on April 8th is more of a roundtable setting in our auditorium and talking about a reunification plan. So that's kind of the idea that we have for April 8th. Also tonight, Laura is going to have, she'll be coming up here shortly, I believe, talking about our amended budget. I would like to say on Laura's behalf, thank you, because you guys know and you've heard the trials and tribulations that the state has gone through in regards to giving us budget information. We didn't know what our FTEs were going to be until almost the end of the first semester. So to try to create a budget without the information is difficult, if not impossible. But I know Laura and our auditors did the best job that they could do in predicting a budget this year, and you have it in front of you today, and Laura's going to talk about it in a minute. But I would like to highlight a couple things, if I could kind of lift a couple things up that you'll probably notice on your own. One is we're deficit spending again this year. But two, the deficit spending isn't as much as it appears to be, because we have to move some money around due to the lateness of receiving our FTE information from the state. So that 1.8 million, you can subtract approximately 600,000 from that, and that would be our deficit spending as of today. Now that still could change. There are some revenues, some state, federal, grant monies that are being moved around, but if today was our best guess, it would be 1.2. Last year was under $1 million, a little over 900,000, so that's in alignment. The bad thing is we've been deficit spending for 2 years in a row, and we got to kind of figure out as a board, strategic plan, start devising a way of trying to avoid this becoming a trend. Yes, we have a surplus. Our surplus was 35%, which is excessively large in the eyes of the Michigan Department of Education, but we don't want to continue to deficit spend. We need to turn that ship around, and we do have some ideas that we've been talking about in the cabinet, in the administrative meetings, with board meetings, in the finance committee meeting. But a couple things that we need to do and recognize is, one, enrollment has steadily went down for 20 years straight. And our revenue is almost solely based on enrollment. So that needs to be pushed up and pushed forward. We need to keep a close track on enrollment. We have done some things to increase enrollment, such as online. We're trying to build our online footprint. I think that could be really where we could expand our enrollment rather easily at little cost. But also CTE is down. We need to continue to try to get schools within our region to send more kids our way. 5 years ago, we had over 600 kids taking CTE courses. Today, it's just a little over 400. So we need to get those kids back enrolled and start marketing our CTE programs a little bit better. Also, EMC is going to help. Next year will be our first group of fifth-year seniors that we will get an extra FTE for them because they are part of the EMC program. So that's going to increase our revenue stream. And then lastly, pre-K. This year we have 32 students in pre-K. Within 2 years, we hope to have 64. 64 times 10,000 is $640,000. So these are ways that we can increase our revenue, and also just marketing our school district in general. I know Julie was very instrumental in getting the billboard put up out on 75. Thank you very much. I don't know how many people we got enrolled because of it, but I think we need to do things like that. We get radio broadcasts at the beginning of the year, and we need to continue to encourage students to enroll in Sheboygan area schools and lift up all the great teaching and learning that's going on. The other thing that we can do, as I just showed you guys, is we have 9 teachers retiring. All of you know we have a very veteran staff. We have about, after you take away the 9 teachers that are retiring, we still have about 10 to 15 that are close to retirement. So we're going to continue to see 8, 10 people retire in the next 2 to 3 years. That's going to be a consistent year after year. The thing that we need to do is make sure that when we hire, we're really doing a really good job of assessing. Do we need to hire one for one, or is this something we could consolidate with another position? That's up to the building principals, but we need to be very cognizant of being efficient and effective in staffing moving forward as we continue to have these large group of retirements, that when we hire people back, we're doing it efficiently. That's another thing that we need to do. And I think all of you know we have a $24 million budget. 80 to 85% of that is staffing, teachers, staffing, benefits. 85% of the $24 million. So that's always, in every school district's budget, that's always the biggest thing that we need to make sure that we're keeping a close eye. So there are some ideas, and we'll continue to talk about ideas to make sure that we can stop this trend of deficit spending. Lastly, I'd just like to make a statement. Nobody's given me much opportunity to speak about this, so I'm going to take advantage of having the floor right now. But I want to show my support for Julie Lodila. Julie was one of 2 people that was here when I was hired 3 years ago. Julie and I have created a strong relationship. She's a retired teacher, as you guys know. She's a strong community member, respected in the community, and has done amazing things. Last year, 2025, I encouraged Julie to take the presidency because when Amber left, we knew it was going to be open. And reluctantly, Julie took the presidency. And I think that's because she's a very humble person, didn't necessarily want to jump out there in the front. But I will tell you, in 2025, we got more done in that year with her leadership than any other year prior to that. So I thank you for everything that you've done. And I know 2026 has been started off a little rocky here, but I know with your leadership, you're gonna find a way out for us. And I appreciate everything that you do for us. Your professionalism and your commitment to the schools and the community is obviously known by the folks that are here tonight supporting you, which I appreciate everybody coming out. And I know this is a difficult time for you right now, Julie, but I did want to say thank you for everything you do. And what the most important thing that you do, I think, is you keep the focus on kids. And like you said in your statement, what is best for kids? And I don't want to get into the weeds here about any of the semantics of what's going on. That's for the board to talk about and to find a way out together as a 7-person board. But I just wanted to say thank you, Julie, for everything that you've done. Thank you very much. Questions about this? We got some motions to make. I hopefully gave you enough information to feel confident about supporting them or not. So thank you.
Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is the acceptance of the retirement. I need a motion to accept with regret the notice of retirement of Adam Burry, an intermediate school teacher at the end of 2025-2026 school year. I'll make that motion. Motion made by Deb.
Support.
Supported by Tim. Is there any discussion?
Richard Keelam,
Yes.
Tim Tarcha,
Yes.
Deborah Gainer,
Yes.
Matt Malarchuk,
Yes.
Julie Lodila.
Yes. Okay, we move on to stable finances, and we have the Finance and Building and Grounds Committee update by Tim.
Yep. First item is construction and bond update. We are on track with our bond timeline. The bid opening for the high school and intermediate improvements is scheduled for April 28th. Major construction begins this summer, with work continuing in phases through August of 2027. We're also looking forward to breaking ground at East Elementary in April, with a backup date scheduled if needed. Second item, project phasing. The project is organized into phases to maximize efficiency and minimize disruption. Initial work focuses on East Elementary and infrastructure, followed by high school improvements, transportation upgrades, and then middle school and additional projects. Contractors are planning to move efficiently and complete as much work as possible on an accelerated timeline. Third item, operations during construction. Our priority is maintaining stable learning environments. Buildings will remain operational, though there will be adjusted access points and limited access during the summer. Construction schedules will be coordinated around the school calendar to reduce disruption. Item 4, financial overview. The district's fund balance is expected to decrease as we make planned investments. These include curriculum, technology, and facility improvements. We are continuing to pursue grants and supplemental funding to help offset costs and maximize resources. Item 5, staffing and enrollment. We continue to see a gradual decline in enrollment, which reflects a broader statewide trend. We are monitoring this closely and plan on aligning staffing levels as well as continuing to hire in key instructional areas to best support student needs and to ensure we continue providing strong educational opportunities. Item 6, facilities and safety. In addition to bond work, we are continuing with ongoing facility maintenance and upgrades. Safety remains a priority, with continued improvements and planning to ensure secure learning environments. Item 7, looking ahead. Next steps include finalizing bids, beginning summer construction, and maintaining clear communication with staff, families, and the community throughout the process. That's it.
Any questions for Tim? Discussion? Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is approval of the amended budget, and Laura is going to speak on that.
You all should have received a copy of the amended budget. I emailed it to you last week. If you look at page 3 and the 4th column over, you will see, as Spencer said, we are deficit spending by $1.8 million now, which results in a fund balance of 25.92%. However, with the adjusting the funds and moving stuff to grants, which is yet to happen, I'm confident, as he is, that this will go down, I would say, at a minimum of $600,000. And with this budget, with the grants, you have to match the revenues to the expenditures. So this is focusing on expending all of the grant money. We may not expend all of the grant money. We may have carryover. So the budget, this mid-year budget is hard to determine. But I'm confident, Spencer's confident, we talked to Jessica, who does the grants, that this 1.8 million will drop. I mean, we're still going to be around the ballpark as we were in the final budget last year, close to $1 million. So I agree with everything he said, that we still have to watch ourselves, because it's not, no more Christmas money left. So, if you folks have any questions, I mean, the following page is after 3 is more of a breakdown. I've had a couple board members approach me and ask folks some good questions. If you review it and have any other questions, please feel free to call or email me, and I'll be happy to get you an answer. So,
Anyone explain what the Christmas money is? I think everybody's aware that the ESSER grants, ESSER 1, 2, and 3, with the COVID money essentially, brought over $5.3 million of additional revenue to the school district over the course of, what, 4 or 5 years maybe? And those monies are gone.
we find ourselves spending money we could have used ESSER money for, but now we have to take it out of the general fund.
Correct.
Like when the Chromebooks need to be replaced, or textbooks need to be replaced, so.
Right.
But we all saw that coming, so.
Any questions for Laura? Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the amended budget as presented.
I'll make that motion to amend the budget.
Motion made by Tim, or by Rich. Any further discussion? Chris?
Reggie Fila,
Yes.
Tim Targa,
Yes.
Deborah Banner,
Yes.
Matt Malarchuk,
Yes.
Julie Lohiel.
Yes. The next thing on our agenda is the payment of the bills. So I need a motion to acknowledge the payment of the regular and bond invoices in the amount of $313,640.94. discussion? Questions?
Richard Seeman,
Yes.
Tim Tarta,
Yes.
Deborah Banner,
Yes.
Matt Malarchuk,
Yes.
Julie Lohiwa.
Yes. Okay, the next thing on our agenda is the approval of intermediate school bleacher bid. We have a bid to approve the bid for the intermediate school bleacher replacement submitted by Intercol LLC in the amount of $91,883. It is from the sinking fund, this is where the money is coming from, and it came in under budget by about, what did you say, like $30,000?
$40,000.
$40,000. So, I need that motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the bid for the intermediate school bleacher replacement.
Support. Motion made by Tim, support by Deb. Discussion?
This is the same that the high school did?
Intercal did the high school bleachers 2 years ago, so it's the same company.
Yep, same company, and also I would like to say that I know we've been talking about the intermediate bleachers since I've gotten here about some of the safety concerns that we've had with it, so I think it's very fortunate that we were able to get it under bid and we'll be able to get it done this summer and have it ready to go next school year.
Any other questions? Discussion? Yes?
Richard Seeman,
Yes.
Tim Tarta,
Yes.
Deborah Banner,
Yes.
Matt Malarchuk,
Yes.
Julie Lohiwa.
Yes. Okay, the next thing on your agenda is approval of the track tennis court resurfacing bid. We need a motion to approve the bid for the resurfacing of the tennis court submitted by Pro Surfaces LLC in the amount of $39,000 and a bid for the resurfacing of the track by Current Surfaces Incorporated in the amount of $128,000. Voluntary alternate latex track. That site Logic had it for $250,000 or something, and this is also.
Site Logic actually had it budgeted for $450,000 because we're going to use bond money for it. And by using sinking fund money, we don't have to go through the labor charges that we would. What's the term I'm looking for? Prevailing wage, sorry. So by using sinking funds, we use bond money, it means prevailing wage. So that jacks up the price significantly. So by using sinking funds, we don't have to use the prevailing wage, so that's why we were able to save money. And I recommend that we did that just to save money. And by going with latex too, we're saving over $100,000 because we don't keep all of it.
So I need that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the bid for resurfacing the tennis courts.
Motion made by Tim. Support. Support by Deb. Any further discussion? Oh, yes, we do, yes. I'm going to restate the motion.
Okay.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the bid for the resurfacing of the tennis court submitted by Pro Surfaces LLC in the amount of $39,000 and the bid for the resurfacing of the track by Current Surfaces Incorporated in the amount of $128,000.
I'll revise my motion to approve the bid for the resurfacing of the tennis courts submitted by Pro Surfaces LLC in the amount of $39,000 and the bid for the resurfacing of the track by Current Surfaces Incorporated in the amount of $128,000.
Motion made by Tim, support by Rich. Any discussion? Chris?
Richard Seeman,
Yes.
Tim Tarta,
Yes.
Deborah Banner,
Yes.
Matt Malarchuk,
Yes.
Julie Lohiwa.
Yes. Okay. The next thing on the agenda is approval of a board member conference. I need a motion to approve the board member Tim Tardif to attend the MASA discussion?
Saying we should probably go for travel and in the motion, travel and meals.
Should that be in the motion or is that after, or should say travel and meals, or should it be in the motion, or should that information be submitted after as?
I think you submit it after and then we approve.
Yeah, okay.
Because we don't have an amount for that yet.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve board member Tim Tarja to attend the MASA 2026 School Safety Summit on May 8, 2026 in Lansing with conference fee of $250, made by Rich and supported by Matt.
Richard Phelan,
Yes.
Tim will abstain. Deborah Buhner,
Yes.
Matt Malarchuk,
Yes.
Julie Wardell.
Yes. Okay, so now we're to the point in our agenda of public comment. As we move into public comment, each speaker will have up to 5 minutes. This time ensures that fairness allows everyone who wishes to speak an opportunity to be heard. We ask that comments be directed to the board and remain respectful and focus on the matters within the board's responsibilities. Under the Michigan Open Meetings Act, the public has the right to attend and observe our meetings. The act also requires that the board maintain order so the meeting can proceed. Disorderly conduct, such as shouting, interrupting speakers, refusing to yield the floor, or otherwise preventing the board from conducting its business may result in a call to order, a warning, or removal from the meeting. These steps are taken solely to preserve the public's ability to follow the meeting and are never based on the viewpoint being expressed. The board will not respond to comments at this time, but please know that we take your input seriously and your concerns will be reviewed. Someone will follow up with you if a response or additional information is needed. Our meeting minutes and video of the meeting will be our follow-up on public comment if action is taken during the meeting. I also want to emphasize that community input is valued. Public comment is a vital part of democratic governance. While the board does not respond during the portion of the meeting, we listen carefully, and your perspectives help inform our work and strengthen our partnership between the district and the community. Thank you for your engagement and your commitment to our schools. With those guidelines in mind, you may come forward one at a time. You're limited to 5 minutes per speaker unless extended by the board. If you could state your name and address, and also if there are times when you feel that your statement has already been made by someone else and you choose to forego coming up, that's perfectly fine. If you feel like they've already been heard by somebody else speaking.
I just want to thank all these employees and teachers for being here, first of all. I haven't seen this place. I haven't seen this many teachers in one spot since Pete Dombrowski gave his asbestos report. There's a couple things I've been asked to talk about. My name's Roger Cronk, by the way. I live in Sheboygan, and I don't need to be contacted. So I'm not going to put my address out there right now. If you need to know me, you can go give me a comment or something. I was on the school board for a long time, and I love this school. I love the district, and I'm having a hard time understanding what's going on now. In fact, there's just integrity. We need to have a board with integrity. If you remember Dr. Balzer, and Dr. Duncan, Dr. Merrick, George Pike, these people had integrity. They loved our schools, and they did right. They're not putting weird crap on the internet. They're not missing meetings. I've been here 2 meetings in a row, and the guy that's causing all the excitement is not here 2 months in a row. You know, what does that tell you? The 3 meetings I've been to in the past year, I've seen this board make I don't know if you want to call them errors because they don't know, or If you want to record a school board meeting, you have the right to record a school board meeting. If someone stops you from recording a school board meeting, they can be prosecuted, okay? If you come up here and you want to call out a school board member by name, you can call the school board member out by name. I wouldn't myself, because it would just causes weird stuff going on, okay? If you're going to talk about what you're talking about, everybody's going to know who that person is anyway. We're Sheboygan. We know. It's been going on for a few months. It's been going on for a long time, actually. So, you don't have to say a name unless you don't want to. You see the secretary down here calling these names all the time during the meetings. So what's saying that we can't call somebody's name? Okay? But think about that. We don't want to act like the person we want gone. Okay? We got to have integrity ourselves. If we want integrity in the board, we have to have integrity. Okay? I think that's it, besides saying I support Julie Lavia. Okay? We love Julie. Julie's been around for 30 years. She has made, 30 years. She has made a difference in thousands of kids' lives. No one on this board can say they've matched anything like that, okay? And not very many teachers can. There's a few. It's kind of scary me seeing so many veterans leaving, not only retiring, but just leaving our school to go to another school after they've been here for 20 or 30 years. Something's wrong, people. And you can't not come, or you can come to every board meeting, but you need to come to every board meeting. Not 300 people, not 200 people, but you know what? You've got to come, keep these people under control, okay? They work for you. You vote them in, and you can vote them out, okay? Superintendent works for this board. We don't have much to say about that, okay? Everybody else works for the superintendent. These people work for us. If we don't want them around, vote them out. Okay? November is going to come faster than any of them done. And there's going to be a big change on the school board. I'm telling you right now. Thank you.
Great source of concern among our teaching staff,
and women. It saddens us to see the erosion of trust within the community. Third, the association calls on the Board of Education to uphold and stand by its disclaimer resolution issued earlier this month. The board unanimously approved this disclaimer resolution, clarifying that Mr. Neville's statements and behaviors do not represent the collective voice of the board and certainly do not represent the district. The Sheboygan Area Education Association believes our schools function best when board leadership reflects professionalism, sound judgment, and respect for all students, staff, and families. At a time when the district needs effective leadership, internal conflict and efforts to overturn stable governance only creates further disruption, which ultimately only harms our students. Your job, like ours, is to create stability for the students and community of Sheboygan. That is not what is currently happening with our board. I ask that you listen to your community tonight and do what is best to reestablish that stability for Sheboygan area schools. We support Julie O'Neill.
Mr. Neville recently published a blog post that may violate the CAS Code of Ethics for board members. The post is called "School is Failing Boys," dated February 16, 2026, and it begins, "The modern education system is a soft, bureaucratic assembly line that treats boyhood like a behavioral disorder." Mr. Neville continues, "How can this be? It's because teachers, administrators, and support staff have spent their entire lives in a utopian academia. K-12, undergrad, grad degrees, and beyond, and their only real world, he uses scare quotes there, experience is, you guessed it, inside a school. I began full-time teaching at age 50. I made it on the outside, and then I chose to work in school." Continuing from the article, "The adulthood these folks prepare students for is a soft, cushioned, union-protected bubble that in no way represents a normal adult life of any consequence." The term union-protected bubble targets teachers who, quote, "in no way represent a normal adult life of any consequence." Teachers, the lives we live, the work we do, none of it matters to one of our board members. He mocks administrators. "The arrogance is the worst part." Those are his words about administrators who, quote, "hold conferences, publish reports, form committees, redesign grading scales, invent terminology to avoid admitting they are wrong." Wrong about what? What should they do differently? According to Mr. Neville, boys respond to risk-taking, and schools give them safe places. What kind of risk-taking does he advocate? And what kind of safety is he against? Mr. Neville says school is failing boys. I say Mr. Neville has failed our school. His article about school leaves readers, myself, my coworkers, our students, our community, to assume he's talking about our school. His public statements may violate the Board Code of Ethics published in the CAS Board of Education Policy Handbook as follows. A board member's primary concern must be the educational welfare of students attending the district schools. That means all students, not just boys. Board members must focus on the district's mission, values, vision, and strategic planning. Mr. Neville has a mission. Quoting from his article, it's "fix the system." This represents a personal agenda that is dangerously out of line with the CAS mission, values, vision, and strategic plan. Also, from the Code of Ethics, work constructively and collaboratively with the superintendent, staff members, students, parents, and community stakeholders. Mr. Neville disrespects administrators, teachers, and support staff. He shows no concern for half our student population. His published opinions are clearly a barrier to partnering effectively with parents and community stakeholders. Mr. Neville's recently published statements may violate the Code of Ethics and the CAS Policy Handbook for board members. Federal and state laws direct the board to investigate these matters and grant authority to choose an appropriate response. So I ask the board to consider this matter before accepting any complaints from Mr. Neville. I also ask that the complaint against our current school board president be withdrawn. And I ask Mr. Neville to resign from the CAS Board of Education. Mr. Neville can pursue his masculine mission with fury and grit. He has the right to do that, but he does not have the right to do it as a board member in our school district. Thank you.
My name is Lily Schultz, and I'm a senior at Sheboygan High School. I'm here tonight because I and many other students are deeply disgusted and horrified at the statements and actions of Travis Neville. While he does have the right to free speech, he does not have the right to weaponize his power for his own misguided convictions. The students of Sheboygan deserve better than this, which is why many of us advocate for his resignation. I myself participate in numerous sports and school organizations along with some of the most powerful and incredible women I know. To have somebody with such an influential position over my education while making absolutely vile and dehumanizing claims about my worth and duty as a woman is sickening. I'm also deeply disturbed that this behavior is tolerated and even supported by members of the board. To you, I ask if this is the kind of masculinity you would want your daughters to be exposed to. Masculinity that devalues them and breaks their spirit into subservience. I myself am grateful to have a father that lifts me up and reaffirms my value as a woman, and saddened that your daughters may not be able to say the same. Once again, students of Sheboygan deserve better leadership and representation than this disgusting display of misogyny and hate. Mr. Neville disgraces our community with his actions and dismisses our values at Sheboygan schools of respect, responsibility, and safety. Your students are who benefit or suffer as the result of your actions, so please do your job and work for us.
people's children, where I work every day to help shape the generation that's in front of us. Because of that, I feel a responsibility to speak, not just for myself, but for the values we claim to stand for as a district. I support the decision to remove Travis from the school board. I hope you do too. Not because of politics, not because of opinions, but because of what's right for our children. As a teacher, a coach, I know what a role model looks like. I also know what a poor role model looks like. There's a difference between having personal opinions and behaving in ways that are not appropriate for someone in leadership over our schools. I also want to speak as a mother. I have 2 young daughters, and truthfully, that shouldn't matter. Their gender should not make their safety or their value any more or less important. But unfortunately, in this situation, I feel that it does. And that is deeply, deeply concerning from a place that I call home. What should matter, what must matter, is that they are children. Just like every student I teach and every athlete I coach, and some are here, my girls, I coach a girls' sport. In this community, I've had the privilege of positively influencing many young athletes. But that shouldn't carry more weight either. A student is a student, a child is a child, an athlete is an athlete. No matter their gender, they deserve to feel safe, respected, and protected. They deserve leaders who see them away equally, fully, and without exception. I was raised in a home where people had different beliefs and still respected one another. My parents voted differently, chose not to divide our home over it, and I was raised to love people no matter their background, their beliefs, or who they are. That is what I teach my students every single day. Respect, inclusion, kindness, and accountability. And those are not optional values for the people leading our schools. They are essential. We cannot ask our students to be respectful, inclusive, and responsible citizens if adults in leadership positions are not modeling those same expectations. There was a reason Travis had restrictions placed on his involvement with children. That decision did not happen without cause. We cannot ignore that simply because it's uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. Your role as board members is not to defend individuals. It is to protect us and the students. I also want to take a moment to say that I support Julie in her role as the board president. Leadership is not easy. Essentially, in moments like this, it takes courage to stand firm in difficult decisions, to put students first, and to uphold the values of this district even when there's pressure to do otherwise. Thank you, Julie. And I will say this respectfully, but honestly, it's a shame to see a strong woman in a position of leadership being questioned, targeted in ways that feel very familiar. When women step into positions of authority and make hard decisions, they're often scrutinized differently. And we have to ask ourselves, is that what this is about? Because leadership should be judged on integrity, on decision making, and on what is best for the students, not on who is strong enough to stand up and make a hard call. That kind of leadership matters, and it deserves to be recognized and supported. And when you look at the very strategic plan this board approved, the direction is clear. You all committed to creating a safe, inclusive, and collaborative environment, providing a welcoming and safe environment for all, promoting character development as a foundation for lifelong success, supporting a community of diverse learners. Those are not just words on a paper that you all chose to put there. That is your promise to this community. It's on the website. So I ask you, does this reinstating someone whose actions have raised serious concerns align with those goals? Does it support a safe environment? Does it reflect strong character? Does it build trust with your families? As someone in the classroom every day, I can tell you this. Trust matters. Safety matters. Role models matter. Our students are always watching. They learn more from what we do than what we say. And right now, they're watching you. The decision is not about politics, it's about responsibility.
supposed to be back at the high school attending my senior daughter's last basketball banquet. But when my daughter and I were discussing the latest issues with the school board, she felt strongly enough that she would rather I miss her banquet in order to speak to you today. So I have some comments of my own, but first my daughter asked me to read something she wrote. This is my daughter. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself before I express my concerns. I am a senior who is a 4-year, 3-sport athlete. I'm team captain on 2 varsity sports, second in my graduating class, student council, National Honor Society, class president. I'm attending college next year to study environmental engineering. A man like Mr. Neville probably sees my accomplishments as surprising, given the fact that he's made clear on his different social media platforms that he believes women are weak and not good leadership material. But here's one point I want to make sure the board understands related to Mr. Neville's desire to be involved in our school athletics. Coaches and teachers have incredible influence on a student's life. As a student athlete, I have experienced firsthand how important a good coach can be. Thankfully, I've had the opportunity to be coached by wonderful coaches, especially Walter Hansen, who teaches at the high school. On his podcast, Mr. Neville stated, quote, "I coached girls for a season and it was a disaster. You can't motivate them like that." This could not be further from the truth. Hansen always sees us as the powerful and smart individuals we are, and in return, we play our heart out for him. Given the influence our coaches have on us, it's disgusting for me to hear now that the board members are considering giving Mr. Neville back his power. How could you allow a person in a position of influence who believes that women are only useful for their body, chores, and reproduction? Well, as a young woman, I can tell you that I am so much more than that. I am the kindness I put into the world. I have a capable brain that has led me to my many accomplishments. And I am strong enough to stand up to men like this who think I am less than them. And I'm really sad that our entire board is here to hear this. All right, so now a few of my thoughts. I'm sure Mr. Neville is going to try to make a complaint that's something dry and procedural, acting as if he's been wronged by some missteps by President Lokila. But let's not pretend we don't know what this is really about. It's very simple. Mr. Neville is upset that his power has been checked, and now he has lost access to the impressionable young men who he was hoping to mold into his twisted vision of the ideal man. When I was at the last... When I was at the last meeting, a few of you pointed out that Mr. Neville has worked to improve our athletic programs. And here's my response to that. And as you just heard, we're a big sports family. My response is, so what? Let's get our priorities straight here, people. No amount of good works provides an excuse for his behavior. Do you really think the fact that he helped bring back cheerleading or painted the football goalposts excuses the fact that on social media he liked to post saying, "Stop trying to find love and start using women for their bodies"? Or that he agreed with an online post that claimed some women have rape fantasies. His response being, quote, "Dude, they totally do. Every career woman wants handcuffs and hair pulling." Stop ignoring and rationalizing his bad behavior for the sake of athletics. It is insulting to our Lady Chiefs. Now, in one of his podcasts, Mr. Neville uses an example of a campfire. He describes women and children residing inside that protective circle of light that men have created, with predators and bad actors lurking just outside. And maybe for the men on the board, this description resonates with you. I mean, hopefully not the part where Mr. Neville calls all the women weak, but maybe just the part where you feel a duty to protect. But here's where I'm afraid you may have misunderstood your assignment. If I came to you and said, "Can you help me? There's an adult man hanging around the school who has online discussions about whether or not women want to be raped, who thinks the idea of teachers sexually assaulting their students is a joke, and who considers our 15-year-old girls to be marriageable age." I think every alarm bell in your body would be going off, and you would tell me, "Of course I'll help." Well, I have news for you. The danger is not lurking right outside the firelight. It is sitting right here on our board. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I am asking for your help. Do the right thing. vote no to any sort of complaint against President Lohila, and support Julie and the actions she has taken to protect our kids.
My name is Dale Rieger, 11571 Mackinac Straits Drive. So many of the things that I intended to say have already been said really well, but I'll just add a few things. When I first looked at Neville's podcast, as the husband of a bright mother, professional woman, as the father of bright professional daughters who are mothers as well, I was appalled. When I thought about that man having the incredible power that a coach has, the incredible power that a man has with young boys, I was further appalled. I used to be a football coach. I was a track coach. I was a basketball coach. So I know something about this. I know about a coach that I had who, for better, turned me into the man that I am. Because he cared not just about me because I was going to state in track meet, but because there was a kid who had lost every track event he'd ever participated in, and at the end of his junior year, while running the track, this guy had a stopwatch on him and knew that he'd bettered his best time. And he made a bigger celebration about that than he did when we won the conference championship. That's the kind of man we want in our football coaching, in all our coaching. So I would have you think about these things. 83 staff members are married women. The decisions you make will speak to them. The effect on current staff should be a concern to you because teachers have more mobility now than they've had in many years because of the decline in teachers willing to go in and take on this difficult job. A local school district did a number of things it shouldn't have done, and we benefited because some really good teachers came to our school. Some of our good teachers could go elsewhere, depending on what happens here tonight. So finally, I'll mention something pragmatic. I'm also, in addition to having been a teacher here and a junior high principal, I was also a superintendent in Indian River. When people decide where they want to send their children, when people with young families try to decide where they should move, they Google. What message will they take about Sheboygan area schools from tonight's meeting? I can tell you it would have a huge impact for the negative if a person who represent this school district the way Mr. Neville will was confirmed and allowed to stay on the board. Thank you for what you do. It's a difficult job. I'm sure many of you would rather have stayed home tonight. So thank you for your courage.
Before we go any further, I just would like to make a statement. A couple people did not give me this form when they came up and spoke, and did not buy me, Mr. Rieger, and also the first amazing student who spoke. Yes.
Lily.
Yeah. And if there's any way you could fill that form out and bring it to me, I would.
We just wanted to start the public hearing.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Tanner. I'm a retired Sheboygan High School teacher. I'm a university professor, a member of this community, and a proud Nana of 3, one of whom attends our intermediate school. I'm here tonight because what is being proposed is not a personnel matter or a procedural disagreement. It is an attempt to punish a board member for doing her job. On March
2nd, the board held that special meeting we've heard about where hundreds of community members attended, and the board voted 6-0 to approve the disclaimer resolution. The board was unanimous. Board President Lokila led that process in accordance with board policy and in direct response to community concern. She did exactly what a board president is supposed to do. Tonight, there's a motion in front of you to censure President Lokila, strip her of her community assignments, remove her from office. I want to be direct. This is retaliation. It targets the person who led the accountability process. It uses the same tools that the board used to address misconduct, and it turns them towards the person who called that misconduct out. If this board votes yes on that motion, you're not disciplining a board president. Oh, no, no, no. You are sending a message to this community that accountability has consequences and that standing up for students is not safe. Your own disclaimer resolution states that this board is committed to professionalism, ethical conduct, transparency, and a safe and respectful educational environment for students, staff, and the community. I ask you to look to those words tonight before you vote. Approving this motion does not reflect those values. It contradicts them. To the members of this board, you have an opportunity tonight to protect the integrity of the institution. And I understand that some of you care about Trustee Neville, but consider this. In football, there's a penalty called unsportsmanlike conduct. It does not matter how talented the player is or how much his teammates love him. The penalty stands. You don't punish the referee for throwing the flag. Tonight, that's exactly what's being asked of you. A no vote is not a vote against Travis. It's a vote for the kind of board this community deserves. I urge this board to vote no. I urge you to protect the process that this community demanded and that this board agreed to uphold on March 2nd. The people in this room are watching. Your voters are watching. The students in this district are watching. Do not let tonight be the night this board chooses retaliation over responsibility. Thank you.
Good evening. As most of you know, I'm Nancy Sprague, Maynard Road, Sheboygan, Michigan, and I was an employee of Sheboygan Area Schools from 1994 to 2024. And I have blissfully sat in silence, watching the direction of this district since my retirement, but I can be silent no longer. I am truly disappointed. I've spent the majority of my life being a part of Sheboygan Area Schools, having attended school here, K-12, followed by my 30-year career. Never in those 43 years have I seen a board so corrupted and out of touch with the wants and needs of the community it has been elected to or appointed to serve as this one. I was proud of this board when they released a statement taking unanimous action in response to the public statements and ideologies of one particular member of this board. It was completely appropriate. The purpose of a school board is to act in the best interest of the students and the community. First of all, I do recognize that board members' public statements are absolutely protected by our U.S. Constitution. But even this board member has agreed that the First Amendment's purpose is to offer protection from government retaliation. It was designed to give citizens the right to disagree with our government without fear. The First Amendment does not give one carte blanche to spew sexist and racist vitriol without consequence. And being a member of a school board and someone who works closely with children, a person can indeed say things that would make them unfit for those appointed responsibilities. For example, a board member who has publicly declared beliefs that feminism and women in the workplace are responsible for the degradation of society, in addition to specific statements that women make inferior teachers, cannot be trusted to objectively vote on matters of hiring, tenure, and possible disciplinary action with female staff members given such beliefs. A board member who has made light of racist ideologies by saying that racist jokes are the funniest cannot be trusted to make objective decisions as a board member when dealing with minority students, staff, or community members. A coach who has supported the belief that hazing and bullying serve a purpose cannot be trusted to protect our students if these take place under their supervision. Similarly, a board member cannot be trusted to objectively decide on disciplinary matters that may come before them involving hazing and or bullying. If this board decides that Mrs. Wojcicki overreached her powers as board president by issuing a statement delineating what action this board unanimously decided was appropriate, you will be confirming the exact issue that many in this community believe exists, and that is that this board has been corrupted beyond repair. And what has led to this corruption? As someone on the inside, I can tell you that what led to all this was the man that was hired to lead this district back in 2023. In respect to Roger, I'm not going to say the name because you all know who I'm talking about. You need to do what the board back then refused to do. You need to look into his history. You need to notice that he has done the exact same thing here that he did in previous districts. You need to look at staff turnover since he was hired. You need to talk to the people that left and ask why they felt they had no other option but to leave. You need to look at the priorities of the district and where the money is and is not being spent. You need to look at why 4 board members have resigned since his hire, enough to give him a majority vote on any of his self-promoting, self-serving wants for this district. You need to look at errors in certain contracts that have cost the district tens of thousands of dollars and were swept under the rug. Someone needs to do what's right for Sheboygan. I will not stay silent anymore while a group of frat boy, good old boys sit around drinking brewskis on someone's boat deciding how they're going to make Sheboygan into Hillsdale or Olivet 2.0. I know being a school board member is a thankless job. But no matter what decision you make on any given topic, someone will disagree. You have a responsibility to set aside personal wants and beliefs and think of the community as a whole. And if you are unable to do that, you need to do the right thing. You need to be a man and step down.
Hello, I'm Hope Diamond. I'm a kindergarten teacher here in Sheboygan. I live on 7990 Gabriel Road. 23 years ago, I was hired to work for Sheboygan area schools. Julie Lokila was already an established educator. I was lucky enough to get her as my mentor for 3 years. Every piece of advice given to me by Julie was to help the children of this district. She raised her children here and her grandchildren. She wanted to be a board member because she knew she could help the students and staff even more. I can honestly say Julie Lokila fits the bill of all the goals we have for this district. She has put in the time and the effort for our district vision and our community. In October of 2023, I met with district leaders to do the labor-intensive work of our district's strategic plan. Some of those individuals are here with us tonight: Julie Lokila, Spencer Bird, Matt Larnachek, and Tim Targa. The day was full of deep and insightful conversations of how we should move the district forward. The time spent creating the strategic plan showed the devotion, it was a Saturday, and work it takes to achieve a successful district vision. To quote the leader of our school district, Superintendent Bird, "We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit." While some board members have mentioned that Mr. Neville's in-person
online social media presence is the opposite. His discriminatory social media posts and commentary are a habit that does not represent or foster our board-adopted strategic plan, mission statement, or goals. We all have our own views, but it's our underlying intentions and biases that truly drive our decisions each day. Many of the posts he has shared on his social media platforms are offensive to me as a mother, a wife, a female educator, and a member of this community. There is little room for misinterpretation when reading Mr. Neville's continuous posts focused on hostility and intolerance. Part of our district's mission statement reads, Sheboygan area schools will provide a welcoming and safe environment, inclusive, collaborative, in addition to attract, develop, retain, and invest in quality personnel. However, on March 7th, 2026, Mr. Neville posted a visual graphic correlating 77% of male discipline referrals with 77% of teachers being female. This is implying that female teachers are the cause of such high disciplinary rates. An even more offensive post on Mr. Neville's Substack platform states that 19-year-old men sit in college classrooms listening to some stinky, bitter hag who hasn't had the big O in decades. This is what he deems appropriate for his athletes to read. Ideas like this that reflect his viewpoints openly detract from our district's goals of retaining caring teachers when he shames them on the internet for the entire world to see. We are looking to attract many candidates for the 2026 school year. This will undoubtedly hinder our prospects. Individuals doing their due diligence before applying will be hesitant to join the CAS team when in fact, there is a board member who without hesitation posts his demeaning views of female educators. On August 10th, Mr. Neville posted that ADHD was created by women who don't know how to understand, let alone raise or teach boys. In the words of a thank you card given to me by Luke Kukuski and his wife, whose boys I have both taught, another amazing year in kindergarten. My son had the very best year with you. We could not be more grateful for all that you do for us. You are amazing. As a mother of a boy and a teacher of hundreds of boys in my 23 years being here, including children of school board members present here today, I find Neville's posts about women raising and teaching boys categorically untrue. More importantly, his habit of sharing anti-teacher, anti-female posts goes against the district's vision statement. The Travis Neville chatter is diverting us from what we really should be spotlighting tonight. The seniors today who attended the Northern Shores Academic All-Conference Teen League Awards program, those 12 high-achieving seniors, they deserve the spotlight. Our amazing new pre-K program, if you've not heard about it, it's amazing. Our 2D1 soloists, our students of the month tonight, our increasing academic scores, our CTE programs, early middle college, our dedicated parent advisory committee, East Exciting Construction, and our passionate principals. They deserve the spotlight. The district's strategic plan isn't just a document on a shelf. It is a promise. It's a promise to provide a safe and inclusive environment for every student and every educator. Mr. Neville's words have broken that promise. Hostility does not help these kids. Demeaning teachers does not. That's all right. We have a choice to make about which 9 Sheboygan area schools we can be defined by the excellence.
This board dragging backwards again because Neville filed a complaint against Julie. One person, one complaint. And now this entire town is dealing with it. This was already handled when Neville brought it in. And what's it doing? It's tearing this town apart. People are divided. Parents are frustrated. And our kids, they're watching it all play out. My daughter, She's watching this. And what they're seeing is adults that are choosing conflict over children, students, saying. They're seeing behavior that shows a lack of respect, especially toward women. That matters in my house. I'm going to say something else that a lot of people are already saying. At this point, it doesn't even feel like this is about students anymore. It feels like attention. It feels like he is using this situation to stay in the spotlight. And people in this community are noticing. If Neville truly cared about this district, he wouldn't be dragging us through this. He'd stop. He'd step down. So I'm going to say it clearly. Neville, if your actions keep dividing this town and pulling focus away from students, then you should resign. Because right now, that's exactly what this is doing. And removing Julie makes no sense. All that does is create more chaos and reward the very behavior that caused this mess in the first place. Julie Lohila should remain president so this board can finally move forward. Because right now, we're not moving forward. You're stuck. And my daughters don't get to pause their education while this plays out. Sorry. Dry fingers. They get one shot at high school. One. And I'm done watching it get overshadowed by this. Do your job, put your students first, or step aside and let someone else do it. My daughters deserve better. Every kid in this district deserves better.
Teachers are held to a high standard and are reminded regularly that we represent our district. And being the team of individuals that essentially drives our school standards, you should be held equally, if not more accountable for your actions. When you're in an educational role, you decide to share controversial topics about your personal beliefs and student interactions to the rest of the world, you've now crossed a very simple boundary. The content you share and your role on this committee, they don't align and can't be done simultaneously. And sitting on this board, you're not just a single identity. You represent an entire community, a community that obviously cares. District administrators, teachers, and students. Although he didn't show up again, I do want to let you know he's sitting behind his keyboard, and just before this meeting, he decided to post.
Mostly I had a few questions. One is, we didn't go over the fact that Neville still holds a significant financial conflict of interest within the school board's own policy and we haven't addressed that yet. And so he's used his position as school board member to gain on-track introductions to superintendents in school districts and other coaches, and uses these titles to peddle his books. His titles to coach and school board trustee, given the validation that he needs to sell his books. It's a direct conflict of interest. So what is the status of the investigation into this conflict of interest? If this and the ethics code violations were resolved by the disclaimer resolution, then why are we here? Because I think that we had a really good resolution. Why are we here again? Rumor has it that a bunch of guys don't like having a strong gal in charge, and they're doing what guys have always done since the dawn of time, and they're trying to take her down again tonight, just for doing her job well. Tisk tisk. Travis, are you really so mad that you can't hang out with the guys at the golf simulator anymore? Is that why we're here? try ping pong. Luke, you couldn't show up because you're too embarrassed, couldn't stand behind your nasty comment. How unoriginal. You were commenting on direct Travis quotes. Misogyny. Matt, you coach girls? What? Tim, you had a school by staying silent. Well, not anymore. Pay attention. So, the discipline of Neville was not an abuse of power, but a necessary response to unanimous finding by this board that he violated the Code of Ethics. His removal from coaching and student access was a critical step to restoring this district and community a place where all young people, regardless of gender, race, are respected and supported. The decision was unanimous. It was a systemic failure of professional conduct. That's what you found. While individuals are free to hold personal beliefs, public servants have to be held accountable for their conduct when it overlaps with their official duties. So our community has united tonight to protect the educational standards of this community. We stand by the board's decision to restrict Neville's access, ensuring that personal dogma is never substituted for curriculum or professional guidance in our schools. We stand by Julie Lohila, and we stand by the board's decision of the disclaimer resolution of the March special meeting with regard to Travis Neville. Now you do your job and hold up your end of the deal.
I have 5 children, and they went through the school system, 4 of them girls. I have grandchildren, boys and girls. But before I go further, Neville may disagree with what I'm about to say, but this does not sound masculine, but I've been tearing up throughout this experience. So maybe I'll try not to tear up as I read this. Anyways, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. This is kind of boring from what we've heard already. So I recently became a city council member, and I learned a lot of things. For one, I work for the people. I don't work for the city manager or any of the, they kind of work for us more or less. And we work for the people. So I wanted to bring up something called the Michigan Open Act meeting. So this is a Google thing. It requires public bodies to conduct business at open, accessible meetings with advanced public notice. It mandates that all decisions and deliberations of a quorum, we'll talk about that later, must occur in public, ensuring transparency. The law permits limited closed sessions, requires meeting minutes, and allows citizens to record. Now, I recently joined a group of people, and wonderful group of people, and we have been doing some investigations. It seems like the board has been some of the board members have been getting together and hanging out. And I'm not sure in what regard, but if there's more than 4, which is a quorum, it's 7 in this case, more than 4, you actually, here's a definition of a quorum, is a minimum number of members, often a majority or a specific percentage, required to be present at a meeting for it to officially transact business or take valid actions. Without a quorum, decisions made by boards, committees, or legislators are usually deemed null and void. So it seems with the investigation, some of the board has been getting together, not sure if they're making decisions or just drinking on the boat, which I've heard that happens quite often. I don't think that's actually supposed to happen, at least according to my rules as a city council member. And if we do get together, we are supposed to take notes, minutes, something, because then people can do a FOIA on it. So I'm not sure if you're making decisions while hanging out together, but if you are, it should be open to the public. And then finally, last meeting, there was a person, an employee of your staff. She clapped for a person, one person. But all the people that were talking, she clapped for one individual. Now, I'm not sure if employees are supposed to do that. Obviously, the board can, but there is one individual sitting over there. She's not here tonight to clap. So you might want to look into that too. I'm pretty sure they can't do that. That'd be like the county clerk clapping, for example, in my situation. And anyways, that's about the end of it, and I fully support Julie Lohila.
My name is Eric Hall, and while I'm sure this impressive turnout is definitely about the tennis court I was hoping that most of us didn't rush out of our homes tonight thinking, I can't wait to talk about asphalt. So I'm actually here to talk about the agenda item that comes after public comment. Now, we don't know exactly what this complaint is about. And while our instincts have pieced together pretty solid theories, we're not here to deal in rumors, we're here to deal in facts. Fact, at the beginning of March, this board voted 6-0 to pass a disclaimer resolution. That resolution gave the board president the authority to place necessary constraints on a certain board member. She acted in the best interest of students, staff, and this entire community. Fact, Julie, Deb, and Rich publicly asked for this board member to resign. Fact, 2 other board members chose silence, one with arms crossed, and the other staring at his crotch like it might suddenly offer guidance on how to leave. Fact, another board member referred to the community's comments as nasty, which is interesting because many of the comments were simply direct quotes from the very person he was trying to defend. These are not opinions, these are facts. And here's the part that matters. This issue has already been addressed. It was addressed clearly, publicly, and unanimously with a 6-0 vote. We don't need to keep circling like this, like it's unresolved. It's not. The board made a decision, the president acted on it, that should mean something. At some point, leadership isn't about revisiting the same issue over and over again. It's about standing by the decisions you've already made. Because if we can commit to fixing cracks in a tennis court, we sure can be committed to fixing the cracks that are within this board. One of those costs money, the other costs integrity, and only one of them actually determines whether this community moves forward. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ben Hall, and I'm a junior at Sheboygan High School. Today I want to talk about students. Every decision made by this board impacts us, how we learn, how we feel at school, and how much we trust the adults leading our district. Right now, what we need most is stability. We need to walk into school knowing that the adults in charge are focused on helping us succeed, not caught up in ongoing conflict. We need consistency in leadership so our teachers can focus on teaching and we can focus on learning. And we need to feel like students are the priority in every decision being made. From a student perspective, this situation feels like it just keeps going in circles every day. When the issues keep getting revisited, it takes attention away from classrooms, opportunities, and things that actually help us grow. That matters to us. We're the ones in these classrooms every day. We're the ones preparing for our futures, and we're the ones affected when things feel uncertain or divided. We're not asking for perfection. We're asking for focus. Focus on students, focus on learning, focus on moving forward. If there's one thing I hope you take with you tonight, it's this. When the adults stay focused on conflict, students are the ones that fall behind. Please keep us at the center of your decisions. Thank you, and I support Ms. Olivia.
At the March 2nd meeting, the board heard many, many members of this community. We've heard many more tonight. We made it clear that this situation needed to be dealt with. At that meeting, you all voted unanimously for the motion that said the words and actions of Mr. Neville were not reflective of the board. As a result of that motion and at the public's behest, the board president took decisive steps to limit his involvement in the school district. She did exactly what her community asked her to do. Julie, know that the people of Sheboygan honor your leadership and we are standing behind you tonight. Now, if I have my facts straight, that same board that unanimously voted to disavow Mr. Neville's behavior is planning to support his efforts seeking to remove Julie from her position as president because she did her job. Do I have that right? This is spineless behavior. It is now beyond clear to all that certain members of this board will put their own personal beliefs and agenda before the will of the public and the well-being of the children in our school district. This alone makes you all of you in favor of the proposed motion unfit to hold your position. This board has become a circus. Accountability is a sign of strong character. Someone with strong character would understand that their role on this board is a privilege. And if their personal behavior begins to cause havoc to the functioning of the board and its mission for any reason, they should resign. I will remind you again that this is not about politics. This is not an attack on free speech. He is allowed to go post and act however he wants on his own time. What we, the
you share the views of this man. You think racist jokes are the funniest. You think it's acceptable for grown men to be eyeing 15-year-olds for marriage qualities. You think publicly posting about a concerned parent and telling them to quote, suck it, is behavior beholden of this board. It has come to my attention that a board member may have made a statement that the people taking issue with this are crazy and a minority in the community. Clearly that's not true. Where are all the people speaking in favor of Mr. Neville? Where are all the I support Travis signs? In fact, you've heard from many well-respected members of this community, including former school staff with decades-long careers in this district, who are telling you that this situation is unacceptable. The mental gymnastics required to determine that this turnout is representative of the minority of the community should call your ability to serve on the board into question. I ask, what is your end game here? Most of your seats are up for election in November, and those of you that aren't facing an election year are eligible for a recall. This community has our eyes upon you. You can only hide behind the shield of bureaucracy for a short time longer. Ultimately, though, I do want to say thank you. In a time of such great division, it has been the most inspiring thing to witness people from all genders, occupations, religions, and political affiliations completely unified. I've seen people putting aside all of their differences to stand together and say that behavior and beliefs such as this have no place here. As Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. We believe you. We see you. A vote in favor of Mr. Neville's motion tonight will show us exactly who you are and ensure someone will be coming for your seat in November. Thank you.
This is the third time I've had to come and speak on the same thing. I really don't like repeating myself that many times. Yet here we are. Mr. Malarchek, you made the motion to put Travis Neville on the board. Mr. Tarja, you seconded it. I'll give you another opportunity. Mr. Malarchek, Mr. Tarja, today is your chance. Say it clearly, call for his resignation. Mr. Kukoski, not here tonight, but didn't stay silent. He called the public's concerns nasty and uncalled for. Told us to have a conversation with them. Let's have a conversation right here, right now. Let's talk about a sitting school board member who in his own public accounts engages with content that jokes about sexual violence, demeans women, demeans public education, demeans educators, treats inappropriate comments about teachers and students in sexual relationships as funny, and aligns himself with white nationalist rhetoric. This is a new one. Travis Neville likes my mantra 2026 going forward. The white race above all else. We will not be subjugated. Those aren't rumors. Those aren't exaggerations. Those are his actions. I have all the screenshots to prove it. You want to see them? Just ask. So what's nasty isn't the community speaking up. What's nasty is the behavior we're being asked to ignore. Mr. Kukoski did not show up to have that conversation today. His absence speaks volumes. Mr. Pilon, you kind of took us on a journey last meeting, but you got there. Ms. Buhner, thank you for continuing to show up and speak for this community and for calling for the one who should be apologizing. Let's be honest though, this whole thing is embarrassing. Every day Travis Neville stays on this board, it becomes more of a sick joke. Not because a crazy minority of the community is overreacting, but because the standard has dropped so low that we're being forced to tolerate this. Every day, he remains as a distraction from the important work this board needs to carry out. It undermines the integrity of the institution and erodes the public's trust. Instead of having even a shred of decency in resigning, he's filing complaints, playing the victim, and continuing the same behavior. Very on brand for him to attack and blame a woman for his problems. It aligns with everything he said online. We're supposed to take this seriously, the idea that Julie Lohila should step down from as president? For what? For speaking up? For taking action? For representing the people who put her in that seat? That's not abuse of power. That's accountability.
Yeah.
Calling for her resignation while Travis sits on this board isn't just backwards, it's absurd. And if it's true that Mr. Neville plans to send out cease and desist letters, let me tell you right now, this community will not yield. I tried being calm, I tried being patient, but we are fed up with this behavior. And while I'm exhausted, let me be very clear. As long as he sits on this board, I will be here. Every meeting, every public comment, until I take his seat in the next election.
I served as superintendent from 2010 to 2016. I do have to compliment our board president and our superintendent for taking the action that they did after the March 2nd meeting. Julie Lohila's position, she appoints them to committees, she can remove them from committees. Superintendent Byrd, without question, can remove a person from their extracurricular responsibilities. Asked for his keys, removed him of his coaching duties. I applaud you for that. Thank you very much. But we're not done. There's still an empty chair there someplace. It's not Clint Eastwood here, folks. We don't need that empty chair. We need a resignation, and we need someone reliable, willing, a Jenna, to take that seat. I taught special education prior to getting into administration. I should have stayed there. But in teaching people who have learning difficulties, learning, whether it's considered slow learners, dyslexia, whatever the disability was, I question some of our board members who still, after the meetings we've had, go on social media and say, this is getting blown out of proportion, folks. Let's wait until the next election. What are we doing? Stirring the pot? Why? What we have here, without rehashing what everybody says, and I need to applaud
our high school people, it was amazing and a feeling of, it was overwhelming for me to hear you speak and be willing to come up here and talk to the public and say what you have. We've created an institute where our schools are a place of fear, unsettledness, and unknowing what happens day to day. Are we going to allow the handout of materials to our students without approval? Do we have secret clubs meeting in our schools because we have so many keys out that shouldn't be out there? What's going on in our school? Get a handle on it. Administration and board. You are the governors. Administration, enforce the rules. Someone comes in the back door, not an employee, probably not covered by insurance, a safety issue, and against precedents that a board president not that long ago requested the keys of board members. And it happened. We need it to happen here. What we've come down to right now is a tale of two board members. We have a board member who we can rehash everything he's done on social media. But if we had a single athlete do what he did, a Sturgis High School teacher was arrested Monday after authorities say marijuana was found in his home. Said board member was arrested after deputies from LaGrange County Sheriff Department executed a search warrant at his home. They give the address, he no longer lives there. Marijuana was found during the search. He was arrested and taken to the LaGrange County Jail. This is in Indiana, folks, not Michigan, so you're probably not going to find it locally. He was charged with possession of marijuana, a Class A misdemeanor, and maintaining a common nuisance, a Class B felony. How many people know what a common nuisance is? Yeah, I had to find out too. Maintaining a common nuisance is a legal term for knowingly using, renting, or maintaining a place, like a house, a vehicle, or a boat, for the purpose of unlawful manufacturing, storing, using, or distributing controlled substances or illegal alcohol. A drug house. Possession, one thing. Now, questioning how much was there. Heck, if any of our athletes were even close to that, they were gone without question. Immediately removed. It is. My point made. I got something else here if anybody wants to read it, but it's about Julie.
Our superintendent stood up here today and said, how can we get more money into our system? We need more students here. I'm telling you right now, you are at a loss. You are losing students and you are losing staff.
question isn't going to be, how can we get people to come? It's going to be, how can we get people to stop leaving at an alarming rate? There's no question here whether the board member is in the wrong. He is in the wrong. When my 1-year-old daughter does something wrong and she's learning, I hold her hand gently and say, do you feel like this was the right choice? Giving her an opportunity to make the right choice. If you need me to hold your hand and ask you, do you feel like you are making the right choice? I will. Even if you stood 10 toes down in your Bud Light mirror in your man cave and said to yourself, I support Travis, you still have the choice to change your mind. The vote has not been made. We deserve a board that aligns with the way that this community feels, and it is clear how we feel. Don't encourage young families to leave. Stop making us the laughing stock of this community. Children and families are not going to be joining your school district, and that's the truth. They're going to be running to the Pelston Blue Ribbon School, to the Mackinac City School that has 10 kids to a teacher. Staff are going to be running to these open positions. Whether you think he's right or wrong when you're standing at the cornhole board next to him does not matter. What matters is that you speak with integrity and you take action against what is wrong. And Travis Neville is wrong.
Oh, Cherry, yeah. There's one more. Woo!
Well, I have nothing prepared because I really didn't expect to be here or be speaking to you all today. I was gone while all this embarrassing thing was happening, and here I am today. I'm nervous, jet lagged, so my brain is not braining at all. But 11 years ago, I moved in this town. 14 years ago, see, not really. 13 years ago. My oldest is now 14. She is a young, kind, respectful young lady. That racism is not even crossed her mind or in her vision, because she's proud of who she is. Same goes to my youngest child, who is 9 years old. And my middle child, 12 years old, yes. But he's a young man. He's respectful, he's kind. He sees the world, they all sees the world, that there is in fact a division, not only between men and women, culture, sexes, anything. But they see people as a human, as just plain human, with heart, with integrity, with dignity, respect, love. And that's what made me fall in love in this town. As a proud immigrant, my vision of being in the United States is working in a big town in the city, working at the top floor, being a CEO. Just like what every man wish. And women can wish that too. I did not get that big top building. I got Sheboygan. And I'm like, what the heck? My dad would not be proud of what I'm doing. But here I am, proud and still in love with this town, because never once I felt I don't belong. There were moments where I questioned myself, I doubt myself, and I felt like I don't belong because of that one racist joke. I'm sure you all heard one racist joke. It's funny once. We all ha ha ha. Even myself, ha ha ha. Good one. But one racist joke said way too many times is not funny. It makes you not only question who you are, make you question your ability, make you question if you belong, but it completely depleted you in the inside and make you question every single day, do I really belong? I hate speaking in public because I had that way too many racist jokes said to me. And it makes me question myself. I don't want to be judged. My grammar's not right. I don't want to do that. But here I am, proud, because you all in this community made me feel like I belong. And my children, also proud Asian American that lives in this town, because of their teachers, their aides, that helps them, that, again, I wasn't here, so I don't even know. Travis, I guess is his name. That made that book, that you gotta be the man, be a man. I'm here today being a man. I don't think he read his own book, it's not here today. And obviously he didn't give it to his friend that was not here. I don't know the name again because necessary to know, I guess. Anyway, long story short, I had work first time to my battery and I wrote something while everyone else is speaking. But I'm rambling, I know. But I guess here's where I'm coming from. And you all heard that one racist joke. I just want you all to close your eyes, say that joke one time. Try it 3 times. Not funny anymore, is it? Now say it again, or imagine hearing it 100 times. Not only in 1 year. I've been here 20 years. And today I chose not to be silent anymore because it's wrong. Not only about racism, demeaning the teachers. The teachers are the foundation of who we are today. I have 5 minutes. Okay. So, this town is absolutely unified. When I got here, when I moved here, I am truly proud to be a member of this community. And we all heard everyone's opinion, everyone's want to happen. So I'm going to ask
place for a personal agenda. I think Mr. Neville has a personal agenda, and I call on him to resign. And I hope that he does that. It's the correct thing to do. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to Vice President Tarja as the complaint for the next meeting.
At this time, I would like to make a motion to table all decisions regarding the recent actions against board members pending selection and retention of a third-party investigator.
I'm sorry, you are in charge now. I'm trying to do your job.
Give him the hand. It's a motion.
Get the predator off the board.
Matt, do the right thing. Point of order. Point of order. Tim, can I help you, please?
Yes.
You're in charge. You need to wait for someone to have support for your motion.
Exactly. Agreed.
So ask for it.
Support?
Mr. President, that motion fails due to lack of support. Mr. President, due to the fact that Mr. Neville has forfeited his right to stand up to defend the claim against himself or to defend his position on the motion to remove Julie, I move that the complaint is dismissed. Matt supported.
Matt supported. Motion made by Deb, Matt supported, you can say that.
Next.
You are so out of line.
We see where you stand.
You live in this community.
Looks like your own bed with the 15-year-olds.
Somebody check history here. I have a motion to support.
Let me help him.
Do your job.
Okay, motion to, we got support, we need a vote. Let's have the list.
Richard Keelan?
Okay, we say that dismiss the complaint. Dismiss the complaint.
Richard Keelan?
Yes.
Tim Tarta?
No.
Wow. Deborah Jean, yes. Matt Malarchuk?
Yes.
And Julie Lopila?
Yes. I would like to thank everybody for showing up, for being a part of the community that cares about our children. And I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I got an additional comment.
Oh,
Who cares? I've got an additional Resign. This is not for the people here, it's for everybody. It's for the people who have not made this meeting.
Oh.
Okay?
We don't have anything better to do, right?
Yeah.
Wait on!
This is for you, Travis.
Motion to adjourn. Public comment, the same thing that happened in the last meeting. After the resolution, everybody got to speak, right?
A motion has been made to adjourn, you have to follow through.
Unless it's a resignation.
No.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Support.
Seconded.
I made it, Matt second.
All those in favor?